Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Pocket video. Today we're going to be looking at a bit of a spicy deck that I built today. On my stream I do like to build decks that are maybe non-meta, and one of the challenges I set myself today was actually building a electric deck that did not use PikachuEX or any EX for that matter. So no Zapdos EX, no nothing, and see how it went. And surprisingly, it went okay. We actually beat Pika EX pretty often in that sort of loose mirror, let's say, as well as doing extremely well against a lot of other decks. So I'm going to take you through the list and then we'll play some games and see how it goes. First off, we are going to be running two regular Pikachus, and then of course, because of that, we are going to be running two Raichus. One caveat, this is through just a few hours of play, so I don't actually have, tons and tons and tons of games into this that I would normally like to have. There is a world where I cut one normal Pikachu and one Raichu and put in a second X speed and then something else, maybe, another Geo or Sabrina. That is possible, but for now I would rather talk about the list I played. What this does is give you a pretty guaranteed access to Raichu on an average game, because you're just so likely to draw, one or the other, basically, because you are running two ofs. Raichu in this deck, we do run one Surge in there, so whether you end up surging it or just manually putting the energy on there, Raichu is definitely the finisher and something that can help, just push your deck over the edge and take out one of those sort of scary opponent Pokemon. So that's definitely something you want to keep on the bench most of the time. Sometimes you have to commit it and it is what it is. It kind of acts like a tank, but in general, you do want to keep this on the back line. Next up, we have the star of the show and one of my favorite Pokemon in the whole game, which is Jolteon. Obviously, we have two EVs to go with this, but Jolteon is 90 health, which is probably the weakness of the Pokemon, a little bit low on health, but 2 energy. You flip 4 coins and you deal 40 damage for each coin going head. So yes, you have to flip some coins. However, flipping 4 feels very consistent. Sometimes, obviously, you flip 3 and 4 and get heads, so you do insane damage, but even hitting for 80 feels quite good a lot of the time. But really, when you start to hit for that 120 up, you start to do some really good damage. And the reason I do say that flipping for 80 can be okay is because of the next Pokemon we have and the final Pokemon in the list, which is 2 Zebstrika line in there. And the reason this is in is it's a reasonable HP total at 90, again, same as Jolteon, but it's just a 1 energy requirement. And because we really want Jolteon active and ready to go, you don't want to be piling tons of energy onto other Pokemon and messing around and all this. We don't want to do any of that. So Zebstrika's on there as a cheap energy cost 30 damage that can hop in, either deal some damage to a backline bench Pokemon to soften them up or knock them out, or you can just start Blitzel into Zebstrika, deal 30 once or twice, and then suddenly your Jolteon doesn't have to quad heads a lot of Pokemon, right? You don't have to go for the extremes from a Jolteon. You can go in there, hit 40 or hit 80, and that can be enough to knock out a lot of Pokemon. And again, just having these on the bench as well can be really flexible, because it makes your opponent's retreats less strong, right? Because you have the Zebstrika threat at least. So yeah, that's the Pokemon in the list. This list is also a little bit weird. It runs a lot of one-of, so there's 1 Giovanni, 1 Sabrina, 1 Surge. The reason we run 1 Surge is, I know the usual suspect discussion in card games is, oh, you run 2 of this because you always want to draw 1 of them. I get that. However, a lot of the time I wasn't like in dire need of a Surge like every game. This just felt like a bonus, right? Like it's an option I can have, as opposed to, oh, if you don't Surge, you can't win. So Surge as a one-off felt okay. I think two-off gets very clunky because a lot of the time you might not have the energy or the Pokemon set up to do so. You might not want to use it, so it gets stuck in hand a lot. The Giovanni and Sabrina, I find myself often changing which one I want 2 of and which one I want 1 of in any given deck. However, doing sort of 50 damage or 40 damage with the Zebstrika, sometimes even pushing 140 to 150 against like a Mewtwo with the Raichu is a really big deal. So again, we want the Giovanni in there, and then Sabrina. The one card in there, the last one of that really counts is worth talking about, is of course the X speed. This is less to make it easier for your opponents to retreat, because for your Pokemon to retreat, because all our Pokemon retreat for 1, so they're pretty cheap anyway. But it's more to like view X speed as you get to keep 1 more energy which might make Surge do better, right, in the future. Be a bit of an easier task to complete. So yeah, that's the list, a pretty quick rundown. But honestly, if you either are sick of playing PikaEX or don't have PikaEX and maybe you have some of these cards, trust me, it's worth just giving it a whirl because this genuinely surprised me at how strong it was. We are going to jump into a few games and see how it goes, so make sure you stick around. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, we're going second. Something that's really good as well is with the Zeb Striker is it's good at going first, so we always have to consider that as well. We do have one of each on here with 2 Pokeballs, so all the basics are good to go. I think in this instance, we do want to start the Blitzel. If we had a Jolteon in hand, I would consider getting ready to go with the Jolteon. But I think the Blitzel, again, that is our go-to opener, let's say. Because it's safe, it's probably not going to just get one shot with that 60 HP. It's pretty safe, and you can cause some havoc if you get into Zeb Striker early on. They're on Dark. Okay, and they do have Dark Energy as well, of course, with the Ekans. It's not like if they started coughing, you do have to glance at the energy just to make sure, because there's been a lot of like wheezing into Dragonite decks that I've been seeing lately. But oh, they're just going to go straight for it. Interesting. Okay, I mean, we can just switch Eevee. That's interesting. Not the end of the world, but again, situations like this are where you would like 2 X speeds instead of 1. So it's definitely something you can experiment with. Oh, that is okay. This is a really weird opening. And deciding where to put energy, where to put the energy, and also how to bench building feels difficult with this deck because you've got, as you can see, multiple options. Do we load up a second Eevee? Do we load up a second Blitzel? We don't have any of the evolutions, so it's a tough choice. So honestly, I actually think I'm going to not load up anything. If they red card us, whatever, we'll deal with it. But I think it's not worth just guessing. And the second we I'll tell you now, the second we play Blitzel, we're going to draw like 2 Jolteons or something. So it's going to be really annoying. So I think it's okay to just chill, and we'll see what the hand gives us for now. They've got a pretty good opening though, just having Ekans coughing. They do have research into Pokeball. So they're going to be drawing a lot of cards. Okay, this might be a little bit tricky. Anyone who's played against Wheezing Arbok know that Koga is the most painful thing to deal with. You really want to just delete the Wheezings from the game. And to be fair, Jolteon has that ability. Jolteon and Raichu can just remove Wheezings. And I think once you get over the Wheezing, I think it's generally pretty fine. This is very scary. So now that we have the Zeb Striker, I think this becomes fairly straightforward. I say that, see, now I'm questioning myself, because there's a world, right? So, like, we already have the Eevee. So if I draw a Jolteon now, we can start building up the Jolteon. We will spend an energy to do 10 more damage, which it may not be that good. It might be better for us to actually just play this Eevee down. We could have held it, but why not? Play the Eevee. And we'll just spend 20 here. I don't really want to throw this away to protect a Pokemon that all this does is make like Zeb Striker go down instead of Eevee, and I would rather have a full health Zeb Striker, especially in the world where they swap out Arbok and put Wheezing in, which isn't too likely right now, but possible. Okay, so we're going to lose an Eevee pretty quick, which is unfortunate. Again, having all the basics and no evolutions hurts. But we will go straight into Zeb Strike and see what we can do. We are whittling down this Arbok, though. Again, not the best draw. So we're going to have to go for Jolteon here. We have to just hope we get it at this point. We may as well put the second Pika down. It might end up being a sacrifice, depending on what's played. So I will just Thunder Spear the Arbok. If we can get rid of this Arbok, we actually have quite a lot of time versus Wheezing, even if they cycle. Because as I said, Jolteon can just one tap of Wheezing potentially, and then of course a Raichu 140 damage is going to delete Wheezing as well. So if we just get rid of this Arbok, we're not going to be in a terrible spot. And the only way this doesn't happen is if they retreat and Potion, which, yeah, you know, they could be playing Potion, but if they retreat or even use X speeds, this is like kind of positive. Okay, not so bad. The problem here is we can't retreat Zeb Striker, so we are going to go down to this Wheezing. However, can we get a Jolteon online? Because this Professor's Research Might save us. Surge and second Zeb Striker. This is where playing the Pikachu down's bad, right? Because now we don't get one. Let's have a little look-see here. This is going to be very, very tricky and going to rely on our next draw massively. We basically need... We basically need Jolteon. We're going to lose Zeb Striker. We go in with Jolteon, blow up one Weezing, and then transfer to Raichu with Surge to delete the next one is like the perfect outcome of this game. But it is possible. Considering our start has been very poor, the fact that we're still in the game is pretty positive right now. And again, it's the strength and curse of Weezing, right? Weezing is really good as long as you don't get one shot. Because otherwise Koga's pointless, right? Koga doesn't do anything if your Weezing gets deleted. So yeah, they are going to get rid of this. We do have an option here to... This is tricky. Because... Oh no, this is always fine. We only draw one card. So if it's Raichu, we need to do this. I'm pretty sure. And if it's Jolteon, we put the energy on the Pika and retreat anyway. Okay, so it was Jolteon. We played around the Raichu draw, which was just as likely to Jolteon's 2 Raichus in the deck. So now we're going to put the energy on Pika. Unfortunately, we don't have our 1-of in here. We can jump on here, switch the EV in, evolve into Jolteon. And because this is in 40s, the Giovanni is not required in any way. I will put the Blitzel down because it might help us with Zeb Striker. And now we do what everyone loves to do in Pokemon, and that's called flip coins. We're going to miss. We're going to hit. We're going to hit. We're going to hit. And there goes a Weezing. And yes, you know, you could say, oh, high roll, whatever. Well, that's what the card does. So now we're suddenly in quite a good spot because they don't even have an Ekans down. Even if they did, it has no energy. If they put Weezing in now, and we draw a Pika, we're in a really, really good spot. Because they literally cannot one-shot Jolteon here. And Jolteon, of course, might just pin missile again and delete the Weezing, and then it's GG. So yeah, believe it or not, I really like Jolteon. Its damage potential is absurd for how much you have to pay. And it's also a reasonably splashable card, because as you can see, it even in non-pure electric decks, it only requires 1 electric energy. So if you play, it's the reason why people have tested it in like Dragonite, for example, because you only need to run the 1. Oh, interesting. This doesn't do much, I don't think. I think again, I'll put the... Yeah, I'll put the Pika in, because if we draw Raichu, it's over. Because we've got 2 energy on Jolteon, we can attach 1, and then we Surge, and it's game. So we'll set up as if we're going to draw Raichu. If we don't, we'll, you know, backflip back onto Jolteon and go for it. So definitely not the end of the world here. Okay, Pikachu goes low, but that's fine. We've got a huge bench. And there's Raichu. So we're just going to Raichu. We're going to keep things simple. We're going to put an energy on the Raichu. We're going to Surge the Raichu. Surge yoinks the energy from Jolteon. And Raichu says, good night, Weezing. And the damage output is so high. And because we aren't running EX, you get a lot of goes. Like, our Zeb Striker early on got... Oh, no, sorry, was it the Eevee? The Eevee got annihilated early on. The Eevee did 20 damage and got knocked out straight away. So we were down a point. But because we don't run EX, we have a lot of time to, like, get going and start messing around. So, really good game 1. Okay, here we go again. I'm going second this time. And we are against Lightning. Very interesting. We have 2 Blitzel and Pika. So we definitely don't want the... we don't want the Pika. You never want Pika up front first. You want, like, anything but. They're also running normal Pika. Okay. Okay. I'm interested. Both have Professor Research. They don't have the backline as of yet. Never mind. Ah, it's EX. Okay, here we go. Ooh, Pokeball as well. This is where Jolteon can do work. And also, weirdly enough, the lack of Zapdos opening hurts a little bit. We really want them to open Zapdos, but it looks like they might not be playing the Zapdos heavy list if they've got Blitz or Pikachu. There's Eevee. I would love Jolteon. I would love Zeb Striker. I would love to win £1 million. You've got to try it sometimes. You've got to try it. Okay. And we do have the Giovanni as well. I'm guessing this Pikachu's going to run away. Or maybe they're just saying, actually, the Pika will tank. But now we can Zeb Striker Giovanni this Pika. If they don't heal it, which is huge. Unless they Raichu. Whilst loading up the Jolteon. Which I'm not going to lie, he's feeling fantastic right now. They're going to X-speed the Pika away into EX. Okay. This is a little bit annoying. Because the Giovanni doesn't count on bench. We will evolve, obviously, this. We will evolve this as well. Because this also makes them have to have another bench. And I actually think I'm going to Giovanni Thunder Spear. I think if we take down this Pika EX, we've won. So if we Thunder Spear and then hit this Pika, it means that we need to get one less heads with Jolteon to be able to take it out. So this might even force a heal. There's the other one, okay. There's the heal, okay. Oh, they're just... I think that second heal was pointless, but sure. I think they were very okay just using one heal there. You could say that I should have held on to the Giovanni to be like a surprise attack, but the problem is if we draw something else that we want to play, if we draw like a Professor's Research, we might want to do that instead, right? So I didn't really want to get fully pinned into like the one play, but maybe that was better. It's kind of hard to say a lot of the time. So we have Raichu. This we probably need to do something big. Right. Here we go. 1. We need 3. Yeah, there you go. So that's how you just get good at the game, I suppose. We knock out the Pika EX with damage to spare. We're suddenly on 2 points, they're on 1. And right now, I'm not really sure how they're supposed to survive this. I can already hear the comments on my video of like, oh, well, the whole deck's just roll heads. It's like, yeah, to an extent, as there's the concede. What can I say? That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.